I knew you would do it. Oh, man. I had to stop. The moment in that video when you did the inevitable, Stephen. But you are going to prove that it is a syndrome. It's not something you can control. It's a disease. You know, if you asked people, even the Democrats, would you vote for Donald Trump or Adolf Hitler? They would kind of jokingly, probably say Donald Trump. But then again, maybe the whole of the Democratic Party has been broken so bad that you would see no difference. Oh wait, that was inevitable. You see, because when you tell yourself something, you could tell yourself a lie, but you'll believe it over time. And the media, and their infinite intelligence, and the devil, and ever since Edward Bernays came up with the term public relations, that got... Anyway. Nick Fuentes, huh? Because at least he'd be trying to make America better for a racial reason? You see, I knew this was inevitable. You see, because it's Trump derangement syndrome is the belief that of all human beings that ever existed, Donald Trump is superior in his traits that are the worst. Worst human being who ever lived. There's the way to say it for all of you artards. Donald Trump, the worst human being who ever lived. And so, if he says something, it's intuitively evil, corrupt, a lie. If he does anything, including breathing, it bothers you. So I'm going to finish watching this video, get a good laugh, and I'm looking forward to just pointing out the obvious to anybody who's good faith. Now, you can be bad faith. Lots of people are. I don't think there's anybody on the left that's good faith. I think the center's about the same. You see, you've pushed You've been so bad faith that even those who want to be good faith now are like, why should I cede anything? Anything. You see, the people that I debate with are the least charitable, most bad faith, least generous. They will, at every attempt, at every opportunity, straw man. Not even straw, because at least straw could hold itself up. But no, they look for the worst of you while also not ceding anything. At least not with a whole laundry list of semantical bullshit that affects the general public in almost no way. This was inevitable, Stephen. Your propping up of those even worse than Trump. Yes. Because once you've made the man the worst, well, I'm not sure how well most Americans understand grammar, but I'm pretty sure you understand it well enough that if someone is the worst, there can be no one worse than. So, if you and all of your friends and Democrats, elected and not elected, even their voting public, are all of the belief that Donald Trump is the worst, then inevitably you will, due to the incompetency on your side. And so, great. You see, things like Nick Fuentes becoming popular, Candace Owens becoming popular, are inevitable in a time when no one seeks truth, but merely to polarize everything. To not have discussions in good faith where we are logically and intellectually consistent and honest. No, it's just I'm right, you're wrong, and how many people saw it. Even those who I really like, when they debate, they rarely grant. They are not charitable. And they will use semantics in order to avoid being called bad faith. They will point to the 0.1% and say, well, because of this, it's not a principle. And I'm not claiming to stand on politically any real principles. I'm simply saying that the trade-off is obviously better. But due to the person who's currently illustrating the trade-off, well, that can't be right. And so we inevitably go for the worst trade-off. Not the worst, but the worst. You see, those who I love and care for, who refuse to acknowledge that what I'm saying is true, are setting their fucking feet on fire to warm up their hands. The moment that we start informing ourselves and actually educating ourselves thoroughly and are able to steel man all sides, you'll understand that you should probably hate the man Donald Trump. But you'll have substance to it, and it won't be what some man or woman said inside of the box. No. And then here's the other thing. If you are and most aren't, if you are good faith, meaning that you are intellectually honest and logically consistent, it's unfortunate, but the truth is, it's easier to advocate and play, I won't say advocate, it's easier to play devil's advocate for Donald Trump. In the 3 elections so far that he has ran and was the nominee, yeah. Man, I've been waiting for this. Yep. So I'm curious what he says. I mean, I had to stop the moment that he was like, well, I'm more for Nick Fuentes because at least he's for America, even if it is based on a racial... Oh. Okay. So I'm curious where he goes with this. Like, how bad is Donald Trump that we support Nicholas Fuentes? If it was Nicholas Fuentes versus Donald Trump, well, there you go. You made the left and the right. The left made the right turn into Nicholas Fuentes, and then the left turned Donald Trump into the worst. So even someone who is actually worse, they can't, in the minds of these people, be the worst. So, hey, even they will prop up Nicholas Fuentes. And you wonder how you create a whole nation of racists? This is how you fucking do it. Zach, Chris, Keith, Steven. You see, when you don't just acknowledge reality for reality and you accept the bullshit that's been fed to you and you don't actually dig deeper than the fucking surface, this is the inevitable outcome, folks. Oh. And listen here, guys. 3 of the 4 people that I mentioned, I know, have brains that work and are capable of being good faith. Prideful as all fucking get out, but capable of being good faith. Race realism, it's a thing. But Oh, I personally, I don't disagree with Nicholas Fuentes. I'm just trying to help y'all out because y'all got pissed off when Donald Trump got into the office. I saw your guys' brains break when the status quo and the decorum of what the fuck do you think the people that are going to come after Trump are going to do? Given how the left has treated conservatives for the last decade. You created Nicholas Fuentes, and then you decided, no, one Nicholas Fuentes, not enough. What we need to do is create a whole lot of them. You see, the problem with being on the left and atheist is you don't understand. Maybe it's because you don't believe in an afterlife. Maybe it's because of that you lack foresight. You atheist, and you know what's so ironic about that shit? Is it's you atheists who go, science says actions have consequences. Da, 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 da. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And we call that Newton's Law. One of Newton's Law. I'm not going to profess to be like, it's the second of Newton's. No, I don't know. Don't care, because really, God said so. Yeah, guys. And so if you choose to make God absent in your hearts and in your minds, if you choose to make an afterlife an impossibility, you will inevitably lack foresight. And I don't mean foresight, oh, I better pick up milk for the wife on the way home, or oh, I better plan for my retirement. No. You see, those are actions and consequences that can be foreseen with human eyes. But there are consequences when you make the afterlife impossible and God absent. There are consequences that you won't see until they just appear. The spiritual actions of making God present well, that's how you develop a whole civilization. That's how you defeat the greatest empire at the time. Even if the French had to come along and help you out, and the Spanish too. So, if you really do, like me, want to impose legislation that is absolutely atrocious in the minds of most Americans, the kind of things that would make most Americans' stomachs turn and twist. In fact, I think if I was in the Oval Office and I was articulating this legislation that's going into place now. Instant vomiting from at least half of my countrymen. Because that's how fucking weak they are. Never mind the necessity to do these things. But those of you who would immediately vomit, you're creating that very thing. Guys, you went from the Ku Klux Klan to the Dixiecrats to not voting for the Civil Rights Act to black people are too stupid to get IDs to now you don't see it. You don't see it. Because, again, the lack of foresight. But when they start deporting black people, I want you to know it's your fault. I want you to know it's your fault. You leftist, you centrist, you center people, I don't care. What? Centrists. If you don't accept that God is real, you inevitably will not understand any fucking thing else in this whole goddamn world. Nope, you won't. And guess what? You did it. And when they start fucking doing it, I'm going to tell you so. And when you give me your reasons, I'm going to fucking laugh in your face. I wished, I prayed, and I have worked for nuance. But it's not what my countrymen want. My countrymen talk of a civil war as if it was going to be some reenactment where we all took a break for lunch. We all went to wipe our asses with toilet paper. You turned on a faucet and there was water that came out. You flipped on a switch and hey, a light came on. You know, left, you lose. You see, I think the kinetic will take place because that's what he wants. And that's what he needs. He needs for us to have made God so absent that we fall so far morally that we decay to the point of desperation. And in our desperation, we will seek any solution. You see, once the food's taken out of the fridge and once parents start seeing starving children, everybody who says to me now, my line in the sand is X, my line in the sand is Y, your lines in the sand mean nothing to me. I called you out on your lines in the sand. You guys remember the Patriot Act? You guys remember MySpace? Remember the iPhone and Facebook, social media, Twitter? You see, it's gotta be a process, right? If any one of these things would have happened in a different order, everything would be different. If we had developed the iPhone before the Patriot Act, we'd all be like, wait a second. If we were all told a Donald Trump presidency after X, it'd be like, wait a second. First, he lays out his plan. Then, we're all like, that'll never happen. So sure, why not? Sign it away. And then, they're like, here's a tool. And we're like, cool tool, awesome. And then we're like, wait a second. Does this tool allow for... Oh, damn it! Yes, it does actually. Yep. So all that privacy that you pretended to care about 30 years ago, just shut the fuck up. You don't care. All of your principles that I've seen all of you talk about for your whole of your life, nobody has them. Nope. Too few. And here's the thing. It wouldn't be so bad if when you were called out on it, you'd be like, I was wrong. I have new information. Thank you for introducing me to this new information and enlightening me. No. Pride is a very, 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 very wicked motherfucking drug. It's the worst of all of the motherfucking drugs. Oh. Hell. Every fucking person in hell. You know what they have in common? Pride. Pride. I swear, every stupid motherfucker who ever existed, you know what they have in common? Fucking pride. From Adam to Eve, the serpent, and anybody who is still to this day separated from the Almighty Father, it is due to their pride. The hubris and the audacity of a human being to be able to claim all of the things that we claim because of me. Because of me, myself, and I. I did it all on my own. Little old me. Liar. And I don't even think you believe it. Nope. I don't even think you believe it. But because of fear, worry, and doubt, you're scared to say that. Because people know you as the self-reliant, me, myself, and I. What would ever happen to my reputation if I was to go, it was just God? Any good that I ever did or ever will do, it was God. Well, now these people might not think so highly of me. They might think highly of someone else. Who fucking cares? Have you not seen the benefits of treating your wife the way that you do? Have you not seen the benefits of treating your children the way that you did? Did you not see the benefits of treating the stranger, the friend, your neighbor, the Almighty When you treat things the way they ought be treated, when you do as God, as the Father says, does it not just work out? Do you need all of the credit? Do you need all of the credit knowing that the credit doesn't even belong to you, but because of your fear, your worry, and your doubt, you're not even willing to acknowledge that the credit should belong to somebody else? That's the problem. You're like me being a fucking drunk. No, I'm not drunk. No, I'm not going to the store. No, I'm not hiding this out. No, I'm not. Lies, 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 lies. And they're the worst kind of lies. Like I told myself, like, this ain't a problem. First of all, to the men that I've mentioned, you're all better than I was. I was the worst of us. The worst of us. And by us, I mean humanity. Those who profess the name of our Lord and Savior and remain in what we know to be sin and make light of it while it destroys the people that you fucking love and care for. Yep, that was me. The worst of us. But for some months now, and yeah, it's only been months, but it's crazy. You know, it took me over a decade to hit what people call rock bottom. But in no time flat, not only have I bounced back to a man who is truly superior than the man I was before I became a drunkard, but it's because of giving credit to where it's due, while also, for the first time in my life, being of a sober mind. Man, things can change for the good pretty fast. Pretty fast. The impact, and yes, I use that word intentionally, the impact that I have had on human beings that I care for over the last several months. My life has been very fruitful since I have decided to have a sober mind. You must die to yourself. You must burn and prune the flesh in order for the spirit to grow. But when you do, you find out this: that the spirit is infinitely greater. But yeah, did what I normally do, but that's fine, because the point of this was to say, hey leftists, this is what you get. And when Nicholas Fuentes, or someone like Nicholas Fuentes, does become your president and starts deporting black people, if we all haven't already destroyed ourselves and subjected ourselves to some artificial / alien intelligence, yeah, either way, it's because of you. Politically, if we end up with a Nicholas Fuentes, if, you know, it's not just that time, and we are going to be around for a little while, and we get some Nicholas Fuentes and start deporting black people and all the other good stuff that comes with that, your fault. Your fault, leftist. Your fault, centrist and leftist. Yes, because the whole of you are bad faith, and even those I care about suffer from what was once a joke, but has now truly become, because of the repetitive nature of things, has truly become a disease. So that's your fault. And if we all decide to get into some kind of kinetic civil war where we all subject ourselves to some artificial intelligence / alien intelligent antichrist, that's also your fault, you leftist, centrist atheists. Because whether it's politically or it's, and I don't like to use the word religious or spiritual when it comes to these sorts of things, because of your lack of a relationship with the Almighty Father. There it is. You see, that's what someone who's a believer will say, who isn't trying to push any of my own presuppositions as far as Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant. No. I have no presuppositions. Over a decade ago, bleach bit my brain and beat it with some hammers. I did to my mind what Hillary Clinton did to those emails. And I just started asking questions. And heck, I'm still open to new information. I try to get new information as often as I can. If for nothing else, it helps me to steelman my argument. Steelman my argument, and I seek to be able to steelman my opponent's argument even better than they. To be able to take the point that they're trying to make and having trouble illustrating, to say, well, here's how you can illustrate that point in a way that everybody can see. Now, it's still wrong, and it may work better right now. But back to that lack of foresight that those who don't believe in an afterlife have. They typically seem to be centrist, leftist, atheist. And very prideful. So, based on those traits, I can, not with certainty, but with an educated very educated guess, predict the near, but even more so, the long-term consequences. And it won't be today, it won't be tomorrow, but if I was to take you back in time and tell you all of these specifics that have taken place over the last 2.5 decades, you'd all say I was fucking crazy. And yet, here we are. And I'm tired of always being right. And also, you see, if you thought I was arrogant before, you see, before I had sympathy for you. It wasn't your fault. Not everybody can spend hours a day just reading, listening to information, documenting things. I mean, you can, they just choose not to. But, nope. No. You see, the more that time goes by, the more my patience is wearing thin. You either get on the right side soon, or the blame for the true evils that will be taking place, I will rest, I will lay at your feet. Rightfully so. Because what's the fucking point? What's the point? What's the point of gaining the whole of the world but to lose your soul? What's the point of watching the whole world burn down? But hey, at least I didn't accept that Jesus guy you needed. What's the point of setting your feet on fire to warm up your hands? I love y'all. Take care and be blessed.